What's going on, you guys? Jay here and welcome back to the channel. So don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and if you get an opportunity on the way out, drop a comment, guys. It's really going to help us out, and in turn it's going to help the channel grow. It's going to help us produce more content for you guys. Something I have been picking up on the comment section is all of the different kind of seed phrase scams that are currently running rampant on YouTube. Just know, guys, every single one of those comments that I block and report, it adds to the algorithm punishment, let's say, on the channel. So the more I try to block all of these different comments, right, the more the algorithm thinks that I'm trying to delete comments and try to cultivate my comment section to best suit my own narrative. That's how it perceives it, and that's why I'm unable to deal with it. We just have to hope, like all of the other ones before, that YouTube finally gets a grip on it. So without further ado, let's get rolling with this video, guys. Like I was saying, don't forget to subscribe. It's really going to help. More than 50% of you are simply not subscribed to the channel. So we are going to be talking about the LFG reserves. I'm going to give you guys my plan, my timeline, and how I intend to really approach the burning of the LFG USTC. I'll also be producing another video today where we're going to be going over those other 8 wallets I keep mentioning, with around 4% of the overall, I think it's 4.8%, I think, of the overall USTC supply. Now, what I want to do is get you guys into my mindset, because what we're actually looking at here, and don't get me wrong, the articles are a little bit confusing. There's 2 of them, and they are a little bit confused as to what Luna Classic is and what Terra Luna is. I keep hearing people say about the idea concept of a name change. I just think we need to, maybe if we're going to change names, be smart about it and maybe just revert to Terra Classic. Maybe simply get rid of the Luna. We would still be known as LUNC, but we would simply be known as Terra Classic. In this kind of situation, we begin to dissociate ourselves with TFL and with the Luna ecosystem. So more importantly, talking about this article, guys, this is essentially the Terra Luna community and the Phoenix directive that are now in charge of the Luna ecosystem, being Phoenix 1, that are going through and they're strengthening their ecosystem. And in a recent governance vote that we'll go over very, very shortly, and you'll be very surprised at the amount of people that voted yes and how little no votes there are on Luna when it comes down to the burning of unbacked assets that are sat in Axelar. This is obviously a situation that's very similar in many ways to the situation that we are going through. Essentially, we've got a lot of unsecured assets that are sat in LFG and sat in these other 8 wallets. And essentially, we do not know whether someone has the keys or they don't have the keys. We don't know if the SEC has the keys, or if DK still has the keys, or if one of his personal assistants may have the keys. There's been some funny movements going on chain recently, and the last thing that we want, right, is to have unsecured assets moving around the blockchain. So if the Terra Luna community are getting their act together to just go in and burn some of these unbacked assets that actually mean a great deal to Axelar, right, then we really need to reorganize ourselves. And there is a proposal up at the moment that's trying to bring some kind of structure. I'm of the understanding that the chain is absolutely fine. We just need to communicate a little better, which isn't easy, as there's just tons of friction. There's lots of history. A lot of us have been here from around the beginning, regardless of how soon or how early or how late you got into this. You've probably been here for a while, and some people simply just grind your gears. That's life, guys. You know, you're not going to be able to get over those sort of situations. But again, we could all work together for the greater good. So let's flick over here to Galaxy Station. Surprise, surprise. I know, not using a Luna Classic stuff or using any of my own utilities here. I wanted to show off Galaxy Station for those of you who maybe dibble dabble in both sides of Luna Classic and Luna. This is a good option for a wallet, in my opinion, because it's a V3 version of Station itself, and you know, this is really good. You can dabble in both worlds. You can switch networks. LUNCDash will always be built for LUNC, period. We won't be better serving the Luna ecosystem or sending out any kind of helping signals to Luna, period. They didn't do it for us, and LUNCDash belongs to you, the people. If you decide that you wanted to do that through governance, go ahead, we'll do it. Now, getting on with this, as you can see, we've got 100, and I mean it, 100% yes votes to burn these assets. And a lot of these validators, surprise, surprise, also work on Luna Classic. Although some of them haven't voted on this, a no vote sometimes is a vote in itself. You either agree or you disagree. It's kind of one or the other, but you feel not obliged to vote. So let's go through and let's actually discuss how we're going to go in and how we're actually going to handle the burning, or the possible burning, let's say, of the LFG reserve USTC. I'm not concerned about the Luna at the moment because it's 222 million, guys. A lot of you probably hold more than that on the low end of the spectrum, right? We're not concerned about that. Let's deal with it when we deal with those other 8 wallets. For now, let's handle the 1.86 billion USTC because it's significant, it's unsecured, and it could cause a lot of damage to this ecosystem. We would rather be in control when it comes down to the selling of these assets, so to speak. So with all of this being said, right, guys, I've been doing a lot of research, going in, crossing the T's, dotting the I's. What we need to understand at the moment is Orbit Labs are going through and performing their chain upgrade. What we are not able to do is do 2 chain upgrades at the same time. It's nigh impossible. It's going to cause a lot of confusion. And we also could not produce a chain upgrade that's going to go ahead and burn 1.86 billion unless we are absolutely certain that the validating base is going to agree to it. And you're going to say, Jay, why is that? And believe it or not, we have to coordinate with a few different CEXs and they have to support the upgrade. So it becomes a bit unusual. You can't just go ahead, put the chain upgrade through and burn these assets. We need the CEXs to be on board with this chain upgrade. It's very important, like I said, that this is coordinated. So again, this leaves us in a position where we're on a ledge and we have one single route that we can take. We need to wait for Orbit Labs to produce their chain upgrade, which should be within the next 7 days from what I understand from speaking to the team and going in, like I said, crossing the T's, dotting the I's, 7 days. And then, right, we're going to put a signal proposal out, similar to what you've already seen on Commonwealth. And if we just flick over just here to Commonwealth, just for those of you who may not be up to date with this proposal, as there are a lot of not inept proposals, but things that don't really need to go on Commonwealth. So let's get this signaling proposal up. It's very vital that we follow this route, guys. Now, what we're going to do is just put a text proposal up. And what we're trying to do is gauge the sentiment, because if we can get the signaling proposal to pass, for example, well, then it's going to be much easier for us to approach the exchanges and say, hey, look, this is going to be a successful upgrade. And the reason why it needs to be a successful upgrade, guys, because of the fact we can't have an unsuccessful upgrade when it comes down to the coordinating between CEX and on-chain. So with all of this being said, right, what's going to be the timeline? So let's think about it. 7 days from now, Orbit Labs should have their chain upgrade. It should be done. It should be dusted. And we should have all of the T's and all of the I's dotted. With that being said, we can then go ahead and get the signaling proposal up. And the reason why I want to wait until the chain upgrade is done is so all of the focus can go on this proposal. And maybe, just maybe, people will go in and they'll look at the court documents, they'll assess the situation, they'll see what's going on over on Luna, and they'll understand that we've got one of 2 choices, really. We either burn the assets or we blacklist the assets, but we've got to get the signaling proposal up to gauge the sentiment in a true decentralized manner. So again, you're going to see a text proposal to begin with, and a lot of people are going to be like, oh, you know, another text proposal. But please understand, from my perspective, there is a ton of work that goes into destroying these assets. As you know, I'm a man of my word, and I've done this twice before, and I'll continue to hunt down rogue assets, and we will continue to propose the burning of them. And this is why it's so important, guys, right, to stake with the right validator, because essentially you are funding the existence of that validator and the work they're able to produce. So if the validator, yes, is working very inwards, and you know, you're delegating with them, and you could be delegating with someone who's working more outwards and actually working for the chain instead of working for their back pocket, you're going to see more stuff like this happen. It's no good, everybody. And I've been watching it from when I put this signaling proposal up, the backing and forthing, the milling about, the capitalizing, so to speak, and getting as much engagement as they can in regards to burning that 1.86 billion. And you better believe that the majority of them would rather you guys go around in circle for another year so they can keep harvesting engagement, so they can keep monetizing it. These are all of the different things that I've always tried to warn you guys about. I'm very, very set in what I want to do in 2025, and burning the LFG assets are at the top of my list. So like I said, bear with me. Let's get Orbit Labs chain upgrade out the way. Let's go for this signaling text proposal. Let's gauge sentiment. And if, for example, it does pass, then we can go ahead and coordinate the chain upgrade with the CEXs, as they need 3 weeks advance notice of any chain upgrade. So we've got to do all of this by the book, guys. It's very important. Now, you're probably thinking, Jay, what happens if this proposal, for example, isn't accepted? Don't panic. The next thing that we're going to have to do is suggest the idea of either freezing, blacklisting, or just preventing those assets from doing anything, period. Keeping them in existence, and just maybe, if need be, I'm unsure because so many people say so many different things at the moment, if we need to update the custom APIs, for example, to reflect the change. We've got a lot of different things that we can do. We've got a few different options, and it's not going to be a situation where we hit a wall. It's just going to be a hurdle, and we're either going to walk around it, we're going to build a bridge over it, or we're going to help each other climb over. And that is what I am most set on in 2025. So guys, keep an eye out for my next video today. Like I said, I'll be clearing up any confusion today with LFG and these other 8 wallets that I've been mentioning and not really covering. Again, guys, just trying to keep you up to date with everything. That's all I've got for you for now. I hope that's managed to break things down in the least confusing way possible, let's say. And, you know, aside that, like I've been saying, guys, subscribe if you've not subscribed. That's all I'm asking of you. It's really going to help. More than 50% of you are simply not subscribing. Aside that, as always, say it with me, guys. Stay safe, stay humble, stay aware, and we'll catch you in the next one.